What's up with her, Sammy? Stephen grunted, puffing on his half-burned cigarette. It was early morning, the sun rising, cresting the horizon, and engulfing the gasp of the forest with its light. Slowly but surely, the day's warmth was chasing away the nightly spring air. The tree leaves illuminated their gorgeous silky green. All seemed right as Stephen absent-mindedly tapped a chunk of ash into the ground, leaning over the edge of the cabin balcony. From across the sparkling river that curled past their remote home sat a single bear reclined against a thick tree trunk. "Oh, that's Susie," Samantha cooed as she hurried outside to her own dressing gown, joining her husband at her side. "Funny name for a bear," Stephen muttered. A slight breeze was picking up, the cool air blowing pleasantly across his stubbled chin. "Is it the one you've been taking care of?" "Yeah. She's been looking better now, don't you think? Like compared to a few weeks ago." Stephen eyed the animal. A healthy shining coat of fur hung from its frame, in stark contrast to the bony, disheveled thing that hadn't been the first time they had laid eyes upon it. I guess. Maybe a little less skinny, but not I appreciate the amount of food you're giving it. I was going to eat those leftovers from last night, you know." "Sorry," Samantha chuckled. "But it was a funny sight. You should have seen her eating. I think I found someone who likes my lamb better than you." Stephen couldn't help but slip a small smile, even as he tried to remain frustrated. Quickly he reasserted himself. You've got a good heart, Sammy, but really, I don't know why you're bothering with it. If it dies, it dies. Better just to let it happen naturally. Besides, we don't know what may happen in the long term. What if one day it comes and brings its entire pack? Bears don't travel in packs, dummy. They're not wolves. They're solitary animals. Whatever. What I know is that they're smart creatures. Keep feeding them and they'll keep coming back for more. Well, we are no shortage of food. It's not just that, Stephen interrupted, fidgeting with his lighter. The couple's conversation had distracted them from the sudden silencing of the forest. Within moments, the bird songs had diminished, and the crickets' chirps were dying down to steadily silence. It interferes with the natural order. In nature, only the strongest are meant to survive. Outside to help disrupt that principle. Samantha raised an eyebrow. "Well, Mr. Darwin," she spoke, "how interesting it is to hear your hypothesis, but I doubt saving one stray bear will make a whole lot of difference." Stephen shrugged. "One bear won't do much. But if it's more and more people started saving them." He glanced at Samantha's smiling face, her dark pupils reflecting on the dawn's glow. A wet cracking sound shot through his left ear, and he swore just for a second he could see some unflappable mass obscured within the forest, its limbs heaving and scraping against the damp soil as it slithered towards the cabin. He took a sharp breath as if to shout or scream, but let it go as the sight was elbowed out of his mind by an unnatural force. Forget it," he spoke, unconsciously turning his head away. "Just remember not to get too close. It may look cute and cuddly, but that thing right there is a killing machine. Top of the food chain, would rip you apart if you looked at it the wrong way. Used to be dozens of disappearances around this part of the woods, back when it was still being mapped out. Whose fault do you think they were, The salmon's?" "I suppose you're right." The couple continued to stare at the animal. It was just as before, backed up against the tree trunk, with its paws in its sides and its legs lay out on the grass. "What do you think it's doing?" Samantha queried. So Stephen squinted. "See, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, it's been sat like that for a while now, and it can't be sleeping because its eyes are open. I know that much. Maybe it's scratching its back, but then again, it would be standing for that, and bouncing up and down. I've seen it on those documentaries. I think it's appreciating the view." Stephen scoffed. "As if. No, it really might be. I read about it online. Its behavior is observed all the time in the bears." "Bullshit. What purpose does that serve? Nature's constant battle for survival. It's probably just resting or something. Conserving energy and whatnot." "Well, maybe that's part of it. But like you said, bears are smart. Some are the smartest animals out there, actually. They have an eye for landscapes, and a sense of beauty even." Yeah, right. And kangaroos can write poetry, and a moose can paint portraits, and chickens can. On and on their conversation went, as Susie stared unblinkingly at the thing in the forest. Susie, see, she had no concept of words, let alone names, but she understood it. It was something that had been given to her, some kind of strange yet comforting noise made only when she was nearby. That and the piles of food dropped from above when she was starving to made two things she'd been given, and though she barely knew why, felt like she could do at least something for return for the pink fleshy creature that had once already done so much for her, that had treated her so well. Somehow she knew that if she took her eyes off that thing in the forest, it would destroy those pink fleshy creatures. It would unfreeze itself and carry onwards, and it would harm those that had helped her. She wouldn't allow that to happen, so there she sat, gazed unmoving. And though it had no eyes, nor face, nor a real semblance of a body, Susie could tell that the thing in the forest was looking right at her too, waiting though it couldn't wait long. Susie felt the hunger and radiated burning in her belly, and needed to consume strong. It would soon have to move on to seek a different prey. But Susie had time, and so she waited. A little bit of time had passed, and the sun was barely now there in its entirety, its bottom tip scraping off the last small lip of the horizon. Stephen yawned and scratched his neck. I think I'm gonna head back inside. Those clouds spell out Hey, look it, she's moving, Samantha suddenly exclaimed. A quiet rustling foliage can be heard, moving away from the cabin. The pair watched as Susie pulled herself onto all fours and slinked away into the forest, casting one final look towards the couple before disappearing out of sight. Weird, said Stephen, extinguishing his cigarette.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.